What's up, everybody? This is Francis over here from PlayerAssist.com PE Reviews, and today we're going to be having another PE discussion. And we're going to be talking about Nintendo's next system, the rumored Nintendo Fusion. Now, all of the links to where I got the information from, all of that can be found in the description below. So all this information I'm going to be reading is going to be back to the source material where I found the rumors. And by now I know a lot of you guys have already looked at that and seen what it is and all that stuff, but I've never talked about it on camera. So I thought, you know what, let's have a discussion on it. And I want to get you guys' opinions as far as YouTube and PE Reviews and PlayerAssist.com, what you guys think about it. Just, bring it up the topic, because Iwata did bring up some stuff that's basically got me thinking about this, and the fans, how the fans have reacted to certain things, like the latest transgressions as far as Nintendo and what the release lineup makes me think that this Nintendo Fusion thing has to happen more sooner than later, and I'll get into that. But before we get into all that, my personal opinion, I want to talk about just the Nintendo Fusion itself. Now, what the rumored Fusion is, it's basically a handheld and a console that basically intertwine and talk to each other. Next generation systems, it's going to be able to feature, like, let's say you have a game on the 3DS or the Nintendo 3DS Fusion, you'll be able to easily transfer it over back and forth to each system. Now, let me go over the specs as far as what the Nintendo Fusion is, okay? The Fusion Terminal, actually. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get right into the rumored specs here. So for the Fusion DS, so this is the handheld next generation system from Nintendo. Now, I don't know specs, so I'm not going to give my my opinion much on this, but it uses a CPU, ARM V8, A Cortex, A53 GPU, custom Adreno 420 based AMD GPU. So the core memory is going to be 3 gigabytes with LPDDR3, 2 gigabytes for games, 1 for the OS. As far as the RAM goes, I'm going to skip over some of the stuff that doesn't matter. So it's going to say it's going to have an NFC reader, 3G chip with GPS technology, Bluetooth version 4.0. That seems pretty cool. 16 gigabytes of internal flash storage, possible unit with 32 gigabytes. Nintendo 3DS slot card, so you can play your Nintendo 3DS games. And this is a really weird one. SDHC holographic enhanced card slot up to 120 gigabyte limit. Okay. Mini USB, and uses a lithium battery, 3300. All right, and now for the system, which was rumored as the Fusion Terminal, that's going to have a GPU, of course, custom Radeon HD RX 200 GPU, codename Lady, 2816 shaders with 960 hertz, 4.60 teraflops of pure power, fill rates of 60.6 gigapixels, 170 G texels. The CPU is IMB 64-bit custom Power 8 based IBM 8-core processor, codenamed Jumpman, 2.2 gigahertz in speed, shared 6 megabytes of L4 cache. So, and the co-CPU is the IBM PowerPC 750 based 1.24 gigahertz tri-core co-processor, project codenamed Hammer. Memory is going to be 4 gigabytes of unified DDR4 SDRAM, codenamed Kong, 2 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM at 160 hertz, 12.8 gigabytes on die, codenamed Barrel. So wireless, Bluetooth, 2 USB headset slots, 3.0 slots, and a coaxial cable. I don't know about that. Cable card slot, 4 custom stream interface nodes for up to 4 Wii U gamepads or 4 DSC versions with the disk drive with the Wii U optical discs. Wow, there's just all sorts of stuff. Dolby, and there's the rumor is that there's going to be 2 versions of it: the 60 gigabyte with internal flash storage, and a 300 gigabyte of just diskless version. But anyway, that's not really the big thing. I don't want to discuss all of the actual specs, because I don't know about that. What I want to talk about is the actual Fusion part, and what I think that's probably the most important, and what hints to Iwata and Nintendo actually doing that. Now, at the investor meeting, Iwata discussed that the next system, as far as the I/O, it's going to have a flat interface. So the next system and the handheld system are going to be able to speak with each other. It's going to be able to use the same operating system. So being able to port games over to the system is going to be very easy. And I think that this is where the Nintendo Fusion is really going to dominate. Because the biggest problem with Nintendo or as far as how the fans see it, is that there's no way Nintendo can make handheld games and console games at such a steady pace to where we get all these games every single month. I mean, look at what had just happened with the recent investor meeting, or not the investor meeting, with the recent Nintendo Direct. We have a gap of, I think, March and April to where there's no brand new on-disc releases as far as from Nintendo, and people are freaking out and calling it this huge drought, even though, January we got Wii Fit U, February we get Donkey Kong, May we get Mario Kart, and in April we get Virtual Console, and we get NES Remix, and we get Child of Light, and in March we even have stuff, but people are complaining over that. So it's pretty clear that Nintendo needs to figure out a way to streamline to get their games on both systems. I mean, they're putting resources into these 3DS games, and you have one fan base complaining and crying about one thing, and then another fan base, that says, "Oh, well, I love the 3DS." So if there's a way that you can actually put those two together to where you'd be able to play your handheld games on your console, and maybe you unlock it for a price. And this kind of goes back into another thing that Iwata was talking about, which is the dedicated user accounts, to where you're going to be able to get discounts for buying multiple versions or buying a game, and how loyal you are to buying a Nintendo game. So let's say, for instance, you buy a Bravely Default, Fusion, and for $50 or 40 bucks on the Fusion or the Fusion 3DS, and then you want the Wii U version, well, you can pay, like, I don't know, 20 bucks to unlock it on the Wii U as well, and then maybe it goes down even more to the point where it's only like $5 to unlock the digital versions of the Wii U of the next Fusion Wii U, or whatever you want to call it, the next generation Nintendo system, to unlock that. So I think stuff like that is really, I think that's going to happen. I think that has to happen, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't really want to discuss specs and all that because I don't really know. It seems like the system's going to be very powerful. Seems like, from everything that I've read, as far as from the rumored specs, of course, Nintendo's not going to make it. I'm pretty sure they're not going to make the same mistake. They're going to make a powerful system, and of course, Microsoft and Sony are going to come out with systems more powerful. But hey, this time it's going to be a little bit different because of that synergy between the handheld and the portable. The handheld and the console. Now, the thing that I feel as a Nintendo fan, I think this definitely needs to happen, like I said before, because you have the clashing of people complaining about the games and not enough, Nintendo not releasing enough games like every single month. Look, the fact of the matter is this: the Nintendo system are not going to have third party anytime soon. With the Wii U, there's not going to be third party games on there. And even Nintendo needs to prepare as if there's not going to be third-party games on their next system either. Now, that can be completely wrong, but they need to prepare, as if they're going to have to go it alone and go with select people like Capcom for Monster Hunter, or like, Dragon Quest, or, just the usual Sonic, the games that they know are going to do well on Nintendo systems, So the Lego games, stuff like that. So Nintendo needs to prepare, and what better way to quell any of the so-called, the droughts, than being able to have all your awesome portable games being played. Because we all know the portable systems are going to get some awesome Japanese games, because it's just going to happen. And especially how the Vita is doing right now. I mean, who knows what Sony's going to do in the future. And I know that Nintendo portables are always going to be popular in Japan, always going to be popular around the world. So just having that ability to be able to transfer them to your Wii U is going to work wonders. And it's pretty much confirmed that that's going to happen, because Iwata did say, hey, we're going to have a streamlined, across both platforms, the same one. And he even talked about being able to port, games more easily. He talked about the difficulty of porting games from different systems over from the 3DS to the Wii U and stuff like that. That's why they really haven't done much of that. There really hasn't been anything like Monster Hunter. There's not a lot of games that have straight ports from 3DS, and I think that in the future that's going to be something that's a priority, and the graphics are going to be much better, so it's going to be much more acceptable. But another thing I also wanted to talk about is a little bit about the Wii U. He actually discussed that they're going to, the next system, this Fusion or whatever it's going to be called, is going to absorb the technology of the Wii U. So we could still see Wii U games coming out afterwards. And I think that would be a good idea, especially if Nintendo has to cut this generation a tad bit short, just because of what's been going on. There's so much negativity behind the Wii U. The third-party support is so bad, and Nintendo clearly can't make games fast enough that people want them. I mean, some people are expecting 12 games a year. They're expecting Nintendo to put out a high quality like Mario Kart every single month, which is just not going to happen. So, but they can put out enough games between the 3DS and the Wii U they can put out games every month for those two systems, but not just for the Wii U that high of quality with HD graphics like Mario Kart or like Donkey Kong or like Bayonetta. They just can't do it. So the Fusion Terminal, I think, is going to be very, very important for Nintendo just to sustain themselves, going forward. And I look forward to that. But I also look forward to getting back to the original thing, look forward to them absorbing the Wii U technology, because if this thing comes out, let's just say it comes out 2016. Let's say we get a reveal. Oh man, that would be tough if it was revealed in 2015. I doubt it, but let's just say 2017. It gets a reveal in 2016, and then 2017 it comes out. I mean, there's still going to be, Wii U is still a good system. There's still plenty of power in the system, so I think people are still going to want to play Wii U games. So if people can continue making Wii U games, and you can just pop that into your Fusion, your Fusion Terminal system and be able to play those, that's good. But like I was kind of saying, like the negativity surrounding the Wii U is just so bad right now. I mean, which is, like I said, it's part of everybody's fault. I mean, there's nobody to singularly blame. Like, you can't sit here and blame just the fans. You can't sit here and blame just Nintendo or blame just third parties. Everybody has made it equally bad, like equally part of this whole equation. I mean, I mainly blame Nintendo for the most part, but at the same time, it's like, third parties haven't really helped out as well either. So the negativity surrounding the Wii U is just immense right now. But that doesn't mean it's all is lost. It doesn't mean all hope is lost. And I think that Nintendo going forward is going to be much more. They're going to be much more calculated about the situation. And we still need to see what's going to happen. I mean, there's some good news surrounding Donkey Kong and other stuff with the Wii U. So I don't want to turn this into a Wii U topic though. So getting back to the whole Fusion Terminal thing, I think overall I'm excited to see the future. I think that Nintendo is definitely going to do this, and I think that it has to happen. Like I said before, it has to happen. Just to quell the whole drought thing, just to quell that. Not only that, but also to finally get those Pokemon games, the excellent Pokemon games that are made for the handhelds, get those on the consoles, and I think that's really going to boost them up, because believe it or not, Pokemon is Nintendo's biggest, now it's Nintendo's biggest franchise, you know what I'm saying? Now it's Pokemon is it, that's where it's at. I mean, you saw the sales of Pokemon X and Y on the 3DS, so I think Nintendo needs to definitely take advantage of that. Take advantage of leverage their portable for their console. I mean, I think the synergy between the two could be so good, much better than the PS Vita to PS4, because Sony doesn't make as many portable games. So I think that's going to happen. So let me know what you guys think about this whole Fusion Terminal. Make sure you check out the description below. That's going to give you links to the source material where I got the specs and all of that. And it's going to take you to where Iwata talked about these things, as far as if you didn't know from the investor meeting, the Nintendo having kind of like an iOS type operating system, not the same, but being able to, the iPad, the iPhone, all of them running on the same thing, so they can easily put things and port things over. Nintendo doing that. So there will be links to all of that in the description below. Make sure you check that out. So that basically wraps it up for this discussion on the Nintendo Fusion here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Make sure you check out the description. I'll take you over to playeressence.com, where you can find all your news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. We got plenty of good stuff going up. Make sure you check out some of the videos that I've done before. I have a discussion on Mass Effect and some of the other stuff that I did, a 3DS Essential Collection. Like this video, subscribe if you're someone new. I upload videos all the time, and we will see you guys on playeressence.com. Peace.